I stared down at my father, who accused me with his eyes. Even in this state of weakness, he was still refusing to agree with my plans. If only you had vision, if you felt what I have felt, if you had stayed and meditated and worshipped at the sacred gate, you wouldn't have tried to destroy the spark-bearer. Lucky for you she lives, and I found her. My father stiffened, terror clear in his eyes. The issue is the Fae has her. I reacted to a bout of furious blinking. Avoid an interspecies war. Well, I'll try, certainly, but how to not piss off the fairies while taking the Moonchild for ours? I was the highest authority for supernaturals. Not that anyone knew this outside of my entourage. I was unofficially the Lycan King, as my father was too weak to continue. The world should know who to bow down to, but the issue with politics is once you're tied down, you are really tied down. I allowed myself to remain the prince for weeks now. I wanted to be able to make decisions in the background without being observed. While no one had seen the king during that time, no one questioned his authority. He was the perfect shield to my covert actions. My cell rang. It was my beta, Luca. I had sent Tracy to Nova Scotia as soon as I knew the Moonchild was there, and I got my daily updates through my beta.
Go to the link I just sent you.
The screen showed a site on the dark web. Some girl. Pretty, but so what?
Read the description.
I took a closer look and found the menu. My eyes went wide. So this is her. Interesting. I don't know what I had imagined, but now I was fascinated with the form that she took. She didn't look frightening, awe-inspiring power compacted into a tiny frame. She looked so harmless. How perfectly deadly. I quietly noted that my beta, and indeed anyone who had access to the site, now knew that this girl was the lost Moonchild, and soon enough Lycan authority would be challenged. Still, kudos to Luca for not overreacting at the news. I expected nothing less. I grinned. Actually, this was intriguing, as it posed a new opportunity. Luca, I want you to join Tracy in Halifax. I want you to buy her at the gala.
If I lose the bid?
Find a way to ruin the gala without it pointing back to us. Kidnap the girl. Bring her back unharmed. She's to be treated as a queen.
It will be done.
I hung up. Well, father, perhaps I should hop over there for a quick look before I take your crown officially. My father wheezed, his eyes glistening with panic. Don't worry about me. I know you're afraid of the Dark One, but I assure you, she is the spark-bearer. Who knows? She might grant you your strength back. Something to think about. For now, I think we should have some tea. I poured my father his tea. Sugar? I asked arbitrarily, knowing that the pink cubes held the subtle poison that kept him mute and weak. I held the back of his head and carefully helped him drink the lukewarm concoction. The king's eyes drooped a little, and whatever panic he felt melted away in a long exhale. There. Better. It was sad to watch, really. After his third dose, he stopped resisting me, the addiction kicking in. It was a side project of mine to create poison against werewolves. These sugar cubes were a failed batch. What they really did wasn't even known to the chemist I hired to make it. I tried it on McCourier and his mutt of a lover. It didn't work on the mutt, unfortunately, and I had to get a new courier. While the pink cubes instantly killed the Lycan Omega, it only weakened the Lycan Alpha. That being said, I didn't know how much more my father could take. I only had a handful of cubes left, and wasn't about to order more as the chemist might become aware of the deadly use against the Lycan. My mother quickly ran back into the room as I left. She was upset with me. I was supposed to give my father the dignity of falling in battle, and she was becoming impatient. Soon, mother. I promise. I went down to the cellar where the palace foundations blended into the ancient caverns. I knew this place was holy, and imagined myself guiding the spark-bearer to the altar where I worshipped her. This place was power. The light called to me. My fingers grazed the surface, but never did I push forth. It was not my place. I let my fingers glide across it, watching the blue moonlight ripple at my touch. I smiled. The girl in the pictures had the same blue in her eyes. Now that I found her, she would rule the world from here, me by her side.
The wolf was there when I opened my eyes. He looked at me, and then faded with the morning light as the rays of the sun streamed through my window. I watched the sunrise from the bed, still curled in my covers. The city looked pretty in its purple haze turning pink and yellow. The high-rises poked up from the fog that was quickly fading, and I was here on the 5th floor watching it all from above. I was blessed. I should feel blessed, but fear crawled back into my veins as I remembered the attack. Reed's wolf showed himself again, and I realised he was staying by me even when he kept himself invisible. There was a knock on the front door.
Girl, you up? We've got a long day today.
Good morning, Trixie. I let her in. She walked right in and handed me a fancy coffee. 3 leches. My favourite. I smiled. I loved that I had a favourite now.
And honeyberry turnover?
I had made honeyberry desserts for the pack, but this turnover was amazing. It, too, made it to my favourites list. I should remember to add custard to my own recipe. It delighted me, but only on the surface. I still felt knots in my stomach.
Well, you didn't bruise as much as I thought,
Trixie said, looking at my cheeks.
Your arms are still a bit blue, but you're healing quickly.
I didn't say anything.
Oh, honey, I'm sorry. I rushed you home right after, and here I am just looking for outer damage.
She set her coffee down.
How are you dealing with it?
I don't know. I don't understand what that was all about.
Oh, it happens from time to time. It's the price of fame.
Fame? The guy mentioned how I was a halfling and how I would come into powers. I didn't think fame had anything to do with it.
Look, the best thing to do is to go about your day like nothing happened. Surround yourself with people. Be so busy, no one can interfere. That guy last night had a lucky shot, that's all.
I answered through another sip. He wanted my teeth.
No way.
My canines. He said they were cute. Trixie burst into laughter through her drink that coffee sprayed everywhere. She grabbed napkins and dabbed at the mess she made.
Oh, geez. Sorry, cute? What a weirdo.
I don't know how you got rid of him.
It's all about attitude. I was in charge and made sure he knew it.
What did you mean by merchandise?
Well, you're our brand right now.
What do you think he meant by too expensive?
The gala tickets are $20K a pop.
Wow, I had no idea.
It's for the who's who of the what's what, remember?
Trixie smiled. I guess that made sense. One more question. Trixie looked a little worried. This turnover is so good. Where did you get it?
Oh, this little cafe near where the gala's going to be. It's the cream, both custard and whip.
Genius.
Totally.
Today was a simple shopping trip where Trixie would give me a list of stores, the items I would be picking up, and a credit card. Everything was pre-arranged, so I wasn't really choosing anything. Just acting like I was choosing.
There will be people with cameras. Let them follow you. Don't worry, I'll make you look amazing.
She had me in designer clothes in no time, putting my hair up in a ponytail.
God, I love this hair. It's so straight and it's that Asian beauty thing, you know? So lucky.
Trixie was saying.
You know, most celebrities have to use extensions to get this look.
She braided my bangs back and pinned it. I was given everything I needed and headed out.
I'll wait here, but I've got some plainclothes security hanging close, so don't be scared, okay? No more weirdos.
This was meant to be an on-my-own excursion. The people with cameras followed about 20 feet behind. The store owners seemed very aware of who I was and what I was there for, extending overly flowery welcomes and other unnecessary compliments. It all felt so staged. I wished I could just go to the library and sit in the corner without people noticing me, but that wasn't my life anymore. Flashing cameras and nosy people were what I had to look forward to. It was late afternoon by the time I got back. The fake shopping and the busy city streets exhausted me. Of course, Trixie checked that I followed directions as she took stock of my haul. I knew I didn't miss a thing, so I unbuttoned the blouse she had me in. It was meant to look amazing, but it wasn't comfortable if you moved. I unbuttoned about 4 down before I went to release my wrists from the tight cuffs.
Nice tat.
Trixie commented. The crescent was showing.
I love flower tattoos.
She asked,
Why did you go with that one?
I wanted a moon at first. A crescent, I answered. The flowers felt right.
And still looks moon-like.
Trixie noted. I smiled and let the conversation die down. No one would understand what the tattoo really meant to me. No one but Reed. That was enough. The exhaustion was bringing on my melancholy, and no offence to Trixie, but I wished she would leave so that I could see if the phantom wolf was still around.
Looks like you got everything on the list. Good. Tomorrow we want you to wear this one.
She pointed at a blue dress that was set aside on a peg.
Leave your hair down, but do the smoky eyes like I showed you. We want people to really focus on your eyes.
That's so strange.
What's so strange?
Where I come from, my eyes were considered creepy.
What? That's crazy?
Trixie came up close.
Look, these eyes are money. Don't you let anyone tell you otherwise.
Okay.
Well, here's your pay for the day.
Trixie handed me an envelope of cash. It was a good amount, but the pay didn't shock me anymore. I was making several thousand a week, easily.
What do you do with all this cash?
She asked. Send it home? I laughed. Charity. I grinned. It's not like I need to pay my utilities. Trixie squinted, trying to figure me out. They insisted on paying me in cash and told me to get a safe to keep it in. Truth was, it was in a shoebox in the corner of my closet. I intended to put it in the account I had set up before I started at the agency, but I just hadn't had the alone time for it. Really, I had no idea why they insisted on cash. Alvin seemed really against using banks, but his politics aside, I'd feel more comfortable if I didn't have cash lying around. Maybe they were part of a crime syndicate laundering money through a front business, paying models in tainted cash. I almost laughed, but I was too tired to really pay attention to even my own thoughts. Trixie gave up and shrugged.
Well, I gotta get going. I'll see myself out.
As Trixie finished organising the things before she left, I started to drift off on the couch. Her cell rang in a quick, low tone.
Yes, the spell should be working. Yes, of course I have more hair samples. I brush her hair. Don't shout at me. No, I don't think so. She talked about wanting a moon, but her tattoo is flowers. Yeah, I was wondering about her age too. She says she's 19. Yeah, we don't have much time before the full moon. We need a new...
The door closed, and Trixie was gone. She had assumed I was fully asleep. I had no idea what was happening. Why would she want my hair? And why was she interested in my tattoo? Not to mention something about my age. Did she say spell? I wondered if I had inadvertently become prey to a coven. Trixie could be a witch. I mean, should that really bother me, though? I grew up with werewolves. Witches that treated me well were an upgrade. It sounded better than a crime syndicate. You know what? I just won't mention it until Trixie was ready to share who she really was. The phantom wolf was waiting by the window next to my bed. Still here, eh? Why was he here? The wolf calmly curled up next to me once I got comfortable in the bed. You can go back, you know?
I stay.
In the morning, I wondered what it was that Reed would want from me. I mean, he'd protect a rabbit if he felt he needed to, so he wasn't here simply for that, right? I still owed him, didn't I? It occurred to me that I had made enough money to repay Reed in full, so I wrote him a cheque for the amount he gave me, plus interest. Using the office stationery that had Golden Leaf's address embossed on it, I wrote a note. Thank you for the help. I'm doing well on my own now. I wanted to write Love Ari, but I didn't. With sincere appreciation, Ari. It seemed rather cold and collected. I could have written so much more, like how I wanted to thank him for all those shared mornings and saving me at the beach and healing me and getting me out of the territory. Even thank him for sending me his wolf to keep me safe. But I didn't. I closed the envelope. Once this reached Reed, the wolf would surely go back. From my moon, to read Mactier.